All right, moving on with Google Docs application, what we're going to do is there's multiple ways to get into the Google Docs application. The first one, if in most Chromebooks, as soon as you start it up, you're going to see across the bottom a few items that are pinned to the launcher bar, the bar across the bottom of the screen. One of them is going to be a Google Docs. If it's not there, you can pin it there. You can get it there if you want to. If you want to get rid of everything down here, you'd right click or two finger tap and unpin, and you're going to notice that it's going to go away. That does not delete the device or delete the application. It's just going to remove it from this icon bar across the bottom. So in order to get into it, I click my launcher, and I could go into all applications, and then I'm going to see my Google Docs. I can either get into it by going into Google Docs. Notice it opens a web browser, and then I'm going to be able to open it up. It's going to say, hey, you don't have any docs yet. There's no text documents yet. Click plus to create a new document. Plus is down here in the right corner. I know a lot of people would be looking up here. Where is it? I don't see it. Then end up clicking the menu and then going, oh, I can do it from here. You can click the menu and click Docs. You can also click the plus icon down here. Or your third opportunity or third option is in here in Options, and you could go into your Google Drive. Notice that this window is already open, so my drive's going to go away. So if I open up my Google Drive, this is back where I started, where we looked at in the last video. I'm here in my file structure. I can click on New and then go to my Google Docs there, and it's going to open up a document that I would be able to edit. You can have multiple documents open at the same time. You're going to notice that every document that you open is always called untitled document because it's untitled. You can leave it untitled document. It's just going to get confusing after a while if you have 20 untitled documents and you don't know which one's which, and you have to open each one of them to figure out what it is. In order to change the name of an untitled document, simply click on Untitled Document, and we're going to just call these Example 1. Example 01, and then I'm going to click OK. There's no saving it. It's now called Example 01. If I look back here in my drive, you're going to see automatically I've got something saved, Example 01. I haven't done anything. I haven't clicked Save. One of the beauties of Google applications is there is no such thing as save. There's no such thing as save. There is no such thing as save. As soon as you do something and stop and breathe for a half a second, it's going to save that. You can also undo things, and the other thing that you're allowed that's able to be done is you're going to be able to click here where it says all changes saved in Drive. It's going to give you a revision history. So it's going to show you every time that you access this document and allow you to go back to previous versions of the document. So you get in there, you're working on it, and then you close it down, and the next day you come back and you think, wow, I shouldn't have erased a half a page of stuff that I just did. You can actually go back after you've shut it down. You can reopen it and go back to that setting. You can show more detailed revisions, and here you're going to see that, hey, I had a revision here. I can restore this one, and then this one. Notice there's nothing different here. This is basically whenever I opened it, and this is where I renamed it. So I could go back to that if I wanted to. I can close it out. Once I start typing, I'm going to just start typing, and notice here in the top it says saving, all changes saved. I'm going to change it, saving, all changes saved. I'm type, enter, saving. I'm breathing for a half a second. I'm thinking all changes saved. If I click here, show more detail, all of a sudden this is going to show me where my changes have taken place. So I could actually go here and restore this version, and now I've restored it and everything's gone back to the way it was. Let's say, whoa, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't actually mean to change it. Show more, and I can look, that's where I wanted to be, so I can restore this version and everything comes back. This is a great and powerful and useful tool. This helps also if you're in collaboration mode with somebody else and they're wanting to make comments or they're wanting to do things. This is where this feature can come into play, is they can make changes like you should never have made those changes. You can actually go back and edit those and see those changes. You can also insert comments if you are sharing with somebody to where that you are wanting to give someone else access to be able to view it. You can edit, can comment, or can view. if you're wanting to let somebody, you're wanting to review your child's work so that they can see what needs to be done, or you're wanting to make comments, or teacher is going to be able to make comments, we can click can comment. You'd put in the email address. If the email address is outside of the school's email, it's going to say, hey, wait a minute, you're about to give access to somebody outside the organization. Are you okay with that? And you can tell it, yes, I'm okay with that. And then they would be able to get the ability to add comments. Whenever I make a comment, I can add one, or I can add a notification. But I could add a comment right here, and then I'm going to comment on this document, and I'm going to press comment, and then the next thing that next time I open it, notice it turns it yellow. It's here that it's yellow, and whenever I did that, it's going to show up the comment, and yes, I've resolved the problem. I can click resolve, I can click edit, or I can click delete, and I'm going to delete the comment thread. You can actually have a comment thread back and forth there whenever you're looking at that. But I can go into suggesting, viewing, or editing. I'm going to be editing this document. So let's look at a few other things in here. If you are familiar with iPages, or you are familiar with Word or Works or WordPerfect, you are familiar with this whole file structure across the top. A lot of things are the same. A few little things different here and there, the way that it's laid out. So here's how it's laid out different. First thing, let's go ahead and get rid of this and get that out of the way so it's not confusing. So I'm going to go into File, and there's going to think, hey, there's the share. Sharing is a huge feature in the Google Docs world. The next one, I'm going to create a new document, not really worried about it. Open, rename, make a copy, move to a folder, move to trash. Remember, if you move to trash, then you have to actually go and dump the trash before it goes away. You can see the revision history, same thing that we did up here with all changes in Drive. We can see the revision history. If we're going to be operating in a different language other than English, we can change the language. This is also a powerful feature right here, and download as. Not everybody's using Google Docs, but you want to download this and send it to somebody else. You can download it in a DOCX, which is a Microsoft Word document, 2007 and newer, 2007, 2010, and 2013. Uses the Microsoft Word.docx file. Open document format, ODT. This is an open office, which is a free application online that a lot of Linux users will use. RTF, rich text file, PDF, pretty much standard across all different platforms. Plain text, or .txt file, and an HTML or zip file. Publishing it to the web, you will get a web address. The same thing as linking it, giving it an external address. Email collaborators, if I'm emailing somebody, it's going to actually attach this as an attachment to the email and not go through the share process. They'd be able to edit it, but it wouldn't show up in my original document. They'd be able to take it, change it, and then send it back to me, and I can make changes if I wanted to. Email as an attachment. Page setup, this is where you're going to see in the Microsoft Word world. Page setup is under edit or under format and page. Here is under file and page setup. This is where you can go and change your margins, top, bottom, left, right margins, your paper size, your page color, and whether you're in portrait or landscape. And then if you change it and you want it to always be that way, you can set it as default, and we'll leave everything the way it is and click OK. Under Edit, you're going to see Undo, Redo. You're used to seeing those, cut, copy, and paste. Your web clipboard, you do have a web clipboard that things are going to be there. You can go there and paste things in. Select all and find and replace. The find and replace feature is a nice little feature. It's a tool that you will find in Word and iPages, but you can find and replace. If you've used a word wrong, rather than having to scroll through a 10-15 page document, you can click on find and replace and tell it what word to find and replace it with a different word or a different phrase, and it will work with phrases, not just individual words, but it will find the exact match. Under view, your print layout, view mode, whether you're in editing, suggesting, or viewing mode. Show rulers, notice across the top you do have the ruler. Show the equation toolbar. If you're using math, if you're building a math document, then you can create equations. by using the different equation sets here. So I'm not doing that, so we're going to get rid of it. Also, you can go into compact controls. What compact controls will do, it'll get rid of everything, gives you a little bit more space to work on. You can also here on the far right side, you'll see where you can change those and expand it out or shrink it so you don't have to see that. Under insert, insert image, link, equation, or drawing, or insert a table. Tables are just like they work in Microsoft Word. You'll have different tables. The one feature that is missing that many people do not like, that is missing, is there are no columns in a Google Docs. It is something that's been requested, something that Google has said, yes, we know it's being requested, but at this point in time, you cannot take a document and create multiple columns in that document. You would have to create it as a table. Footnotes for any citations, special characters, horizontal lines, page numbers. When you're having to create a research paper or something, you have to put in page numbers, page count, page break, header, footers, bookmarks, table of contents. Again, your bold, italicize, underline, strike through, all of these things that you're used to seeing, and your font faces that are available. You can download and add in some new font faces. Tools, spell checker, research, define a word, word count, translate the document. If you're needing to translate this into a different language, it will send it to Google Translate and kick that back out. Your personal dictionary, if it's viewed something as an incorrect spelling, you say, no, this is correct, it'll put it into your personal dictionary. Insert a table, we just looked at that just a second ago. Add-ons, you can get add-ons for your Google Docs application just like you would into the web store. This will direct you into the web store, but it will only give you the applications that are going to function with the Google Docs application, and then help. Google Help, if you've got any questions, it'll search libraries of support forums to be able to try to help you. Down here in the bottom, underneath it, you've got your print. We've talked about print briefly. It is a little bit difficult in the Google Docs world. Undo, redo, and paint format. If you have something typed in the way that you want it here, and you want to put those exact same font face, font size, font style, color, all the stuff here, then you would use your format painter just like you would, or paint format just the way you would in Microsoft Word or iPages. Here, this is just your view. If you're at 100% view, 90% view, you can also do that by holding down the control button on your keyboard and pushing the plus and minus will do the same thing, or control and scrolling up and down if you're using a mouse, or if you're using a touchpad, you can use pinch and zoom the way you would on your phone on the touchpad. Normal text, title, subtitle, headings, 1, 2, different font faces, and you can also go to more fonts, and then it'll search and give you all the different fonts that you may be looking for, and then you're just going to have to let it download those and sort them and pull them through. Your font size, Arial 11 is going to be the default, and Google, you got bold, italics, underline, text color, link, insert a comment, left align, center, right align, and justify. Line spacing, numbers if you're in putting in a list. So if you have a 1 period and then 2 and then 3, and it's going to put all that information in, and you can change those up and how those look. And the last thing here is clear all your formatting, so get rid of all your formatting. Once this is in, I can take and close this typing away. I'm closing it, and I'm done here. Here's my example 1 that we just had. I'm going to open it back up. Here we go. Everything's in place, and it's just like I left it. I can look here into my last edit was seconds ago. It'll show me last time, and then I can start looking at the different. Now notice there's a large gap of time between here and here. I can go to show more detail, and all of a sudden it's going to start putting in the different things that I've done. Close that back out. I'm going to get rid of both of these documents. Don't need them, so I'm going to remove. Right click and remove. And remember, they're in the trash. So if I want to get rid of it, I can just totally empty the trash. And now they're gone. The other thing, remember what we were saying about being offline? Over here in your settings, it's set by default for offline. Sync Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, and drawing files to this computer so that you can edit offline. It's set to download those by default, so it's not something that you're going to have to work. And then if you want it to convert, if you have a Word document that you're uploading into Google Drive, you can convert the file to the Google Docs editor format automatically, or you can do that in a side job if you want to, rather than having it do it by itself. So that's a very quick overview of what the Google Docs world looks like. Google Docs, remember, as soon as I opened it, it's going to save it. I don't have to worry about it. I've got all my basic settings and everything that I'm going to use to create my document here and just type away. So here, I didn't make any changes. It's not going to have anything, but as soon as I make the first change, it automatically saves that document and will have it into my Google Drive.